Hi everybody, I want to do a video on how to stop procrastinating. Now I have two things I've learned in life on how to stop this. I'm going to use this as an example for college, although this might be able to be applied in other situations. So the first thing is, let's say you're starting out a college semester, right? You're going to get a syllabus, probably many syllabi, I guess, for different classes, right? So in your spare time, just take this thing and read over it, maybe read over it several times. And if there's something you can do, maybe do it. If not, don't worry about it. And don't feel pressure to do it. This is not a requirement here. Okay, this is something you're doing to help yourself. So do it when you're chill. And think about, okay, what am I going to have to do? Now, later when you're daydreaming, and I think we all daydream, and one thing we tend to think about is our future. Think about what you read in that syllabus and imagine you doing it, right? Because you are going to be doing it. Think about what's going to be a struggle, what's going to be hard, what might be tense. Maybe what might be good too. Just everything you can think of and every emotion that's going to go with it. This is called mental preparation, and you're preparing for your near future. So this is going to help you when the next step comes around. So the next step for this, you wait until this moment happens where you're in class or you're somewhere and you figure out, okay, I have something that's due in 2 weeks. And there's always one moment where that really hits you, right? So your brain is going to do something at the moment that that hits you, because your comfort level is going to really drop, right? It's going to drop rather sharply. And what your brain tries to do is find a way to make you feel better, right? Because it wants to feel better. So what it does is it rationalizes. It says, oh, you don't have to do this. It's due in 2 weeks. You can wait a week to do it. You don't have to worry about this for a week. And as soon as you hear yourself think, you don't have to worry, you feel so much better. And why don't you have to worry? Because you can wait until next week, right? So this is where the problem starts. And it's kind of like a drug in a way. Anything that makes your brain feel better, feel more comfortable very quickly, is going to be addicting. And so then what happens next week when it hits you again? Okay, I have a week to do this. Your brain says, oh, you don't have to worry about it. You've got a whole week. A week was a lot longer than we were thinking before. You can really wait until the Wednesday maybe to do it. And so then you're like, okay, and you get that comfort again. So it's like a drug where it's like you feel bad, you take it, you feel better. Same feeling again, same feeling of bad again. I'm going to do the same thing again, take that again so I feel better, right? The problem with procrastination is there's a lot of guilt to it. And every once in a while you will start thinking about it, especially if you suffered the consequences before, and that'll make you feel bad. So as that goes on, that guilt is actually making it harder for you to start because you're kind of fighting with yourself over whether or not you should start. You're fighting with your rationalizations. And every once in a while, you're going to see through that rationalization and actually realize, okay, this isn't good. But then you're going to have to rationalize again, so you're constantly feeling bad. And it's just this vicious circle. It really is like a drug. The more you do it, there's diminishing returns, right? It's actually hurting you, but you keep doing it. So here is the strategy around that. At that very moment where it's 2 weeks until it's due, oh man, I have to do this. Comfort level drops. You've got to fight that rationalization and tell yourself something different, and that's this. It's going to be okay because when I get home or as soon as I can, I'm going to start on this right away. And that might be hard if you're used to procrastinating. So what I suggest that you do is get like a podcast going, something that you like, maybe music, anything that you like to do that you would be doing if you were just kind of wasting time, right? Get it going in the background. If you're working on a computer, put it on your phone. If you have 2 monitors on your computer, put it on the second monitor. Do something like that. And just pull up the assignment or the study material and look at it. That's all you have to do. Just start looking at it. And then once you've done a little bit of looking at it, maybe see if you can do a little bit at the beginning. Open it up. At this point, you'll start to feel better. Because one thing you should realize is a lot of your peers are procrastinating, and now you're ahead of them. So the fact that you're ahead of them, and you know that to pass the class, you just have to do better than half of them usually, you're already on your path to winning, right? So now that threat, that thing that made you uncomfortable, it's a lot less of a threat. So you just feel better because the threat, the thing that made you uncomfortable, is now diminishing. And that makes that addicting. That makes working on it addicting. You realize that the more and more you get through it, when you start to get close to that halfway point, you start to feel a lot better. Not just because you're almost halfway done, but because you probably realize that a lot of people haven't even started on it. So now you have this little comfort zone back. You're buying yourself that comfort you had before where you didn't have this deadline in front of you, and you're going to start to feel a lot better. I've noticed when I do this, and I say, I really don't feel like it. I really just want to put it off until next week. I really just want to forget about it. I'll say, you know what? I would watch like Joe Rogan's podcast. Just put on the new Joe Rogan episode, put it on the side monitor. I had a few monitors when I was in school, or else maybe I'd put it on my phone if I was, on my laptop somewhere, listen to it on headphones, and just pull up the assignment. Just pull it up and just kind of start reading it. Don't really seriously read it, just kind of skim it, look at the illustrations. And so I would do that, and then I'd start to get a little curious and be like, hey, you know what? I might be able to do this little thing here. This doesn't seem bad at all. I can go ahead and, in fact, I think I did something like this before. Let me just go ahead and do this real quick, right? Because then that'll feel a lot better. I've already made a start, and I know that'll mean I'm already ahead of people. So I'll do that, right? And then I'll feel better. And before I know it, Joe Rogan will be talking, and I haven't heard a word he said for the last hour. So eventually, I'll just turn it off, right? And I'll keep working on it. And it'll go, I'll go maybe late into the night if I'm really liking it. And by the next morning, I'm over halfway done with the assignment. And, 3 days later, hardly anybody else has started on it. So I always finish really early, and then I feel really good because I realize I don't even have to worry about another deadline coming up in this class because everybody else is still working on the assignment that I've already finished, and most of them aren't even close, and I don't think they're all going to fail. So now I've got this little golden ticket, and this is a strategy I used every time in school, and I felt so much better for it. I was a much better person for it because I wasn't always stressed, and I wasn't always fighting that little mini guilt trip that you get where you have to re-rationalize it. So you are kind of still using rationalization. You're telling your brain something, in this case, that's true, that once you work on it a little bit, it's going to be better for you. So if you have any questions about this little strategy, feel free to post them below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm also going to try to post my Twitter account below. If you like this, you could follow me on Twitter. I make little tweets sometimes. And I hope you guys have a good night.